200 persons have been injured and more than 100 others arrested across Kenya in a nationwide protest against government tax hike plans. 5 groups, including Amnesty International, revealed that at least 105 protesters had been arrested in a violent crackdown by riot police that included the use of tear gas, water cannon, and rubber bullets. The protest, which is against budget proposals aimed at raising $2.7 billion in additional taxes, widened on Thursday in 19 of Kenya's 47 counties. Nairobi's central business district was brought to a standstill as horse-riding riot police threw tear gas canisters and opened water cannon on demonstrators. The protesters, who began their demonstrations on Tuesday, are demanding that lawmakers vote against the legislation, which is expected to be burdensome for salaried Kenyans, entrepreneurs, and consumers. They say the administration of President William Ruto has gone back on its pledge to reduce taxes and lower the cost of living. For more on this story, a writing fellow of African Liberty, Jamlick Kogi, joins me from Nairobi in Kenya. Thank you so much for joining us at this time. Well, I think first I want to ask if you're safe and what the situation is in Kenya as citizens actually make this move against government tax hike plans.
Thank you very much for having me. The situation in Kenya is all right, I can say at the moment, because on Tuesday and yesterday on Thursday, the small revolution, so to speak, and the demonstrations that have been more or less led by Generation Z and millennials has been largely peaceful, away from what we have been used to before, which are politically led. But this time around, the citizens joined hands together. They mobilized themselves to really stand and make known to their legislators that the proposed tax measures are punitive and needs to be amended, which are contained in the Finance Bill 2024. So I would say it is calm. I am safe in the capital city of Nairobi and even other cities that participated in riots and demonstration rather, because we believe that when we come together and stand for what we believe for and make it known, the government will listen to us.
And then protesters are actually demanding that lawmakers vote against the legislation, which is expected to be burdensome for salaried Kenyans, entrepreneurs, and consumers. What do you consider to be the body language of the legislators? Are they likely to toe this path?
Well, it is, from where I sit, I would say that there has been some concessions with the president calling on the parliamentary group before the demonstration came, and the first reading and the second reading that happened yesterday, where the bill successfully sailed to in the second stage. There are still other stages ahead until there is presidential assent as the fifth stage. But we come in Kenya is a country where the ruling party, among other parties in the coalition, many legislators who have the mandate of coming up with the laws besides oversight and representing the people, they have loyalty to the parties. But we are urging them to listen to the common citizen, because these are the people who elected them, instead of just leaning to the party stand that we need to pass this bill for the country to move forward in the next one financial year, to look at the critical issues that most of them are quite punitive to talk about, and look at the situation on the financial situation on the ground, where many companies are really restructuring and retrenching people. Small and micro organizations, they are struggling. They are not making good sales because there is financial and economic hardship. So the call through the demonstrations that were peaceful were basically to alert the legislators, to the members of parliament who represent the Wanjiko, so to speak, the common Mwananchi, to listen to these needs and do not to pass the bill, but first of all, take into account these contentious issues.
All right, but talking about the financial situation on ground, what was the situation before the protest, and what has been the impact of these protests on the economy of Kenya?
Well, I would say the situation has not just become bad this year because now it has become worse. We are coming from the Finance Bill 2023, which every year there has to be a finance bill that has to be subjected to public participation, the public weigh in their input, then the legislators take it over to kind of strike a balance. So we are coming from a situation which has already been a struggle, and to note that in 2022 was the election year. Then we had the 2023 finance bill that also had some measures that were not very appealing to the citizen. But now what created the uproar was some of them, the most contentious issues basically are touching on an area of taxing the gig economy, where 2.97 of million Kenyans are not employed. And the statistics have it that one has to make, a fresh graduate has to make, on average, 98 applications before they land a job. Even media stations are retrenching. Then you want to tax, then the government wants to tax 1.5% on the gig economy, tax hailing apps. And these are the avenues the creative Kenyans, especially the young people, are trying to find ways to eke a living because the government hasn't provided enough opportunities for people to eke a living. So the situation has been bad, but these measures would make the situation worse.
All right, so now we're hoping that somehow, peace gets back there and, government listens, the legislators listen, and there is peace in Kenya. Thank you very much, Jamlick Kogi, Writing Fellow for African Liberty, for talking to us on World Now.
Having me.
All right, and still in Africa, South Sudan's vice president says peace talks in